There are ways to prevent it, but
Okay.
its default is life take her over.
Wow.
Can you keep on speaking? We're just trying to see if we get an echo in here.
Well, I'm sort of like the Wizard of Oz now that I'm on the screen here.
Wow, that is, I like that effect.
That is weird.
That's why you need more of me.
Maybe try it again.
Hello. Greetings. Happy New Year.
I think we're getting it from this TV and from that TV.
Okay. All right.
Testing.
You're good now.
Okay.
Technology. Other duties as assigned.
We are recording.
Yep,
We're
ready to
recording.
go.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you all very much for, and welcome to the Carbondale Historic Preservation Commission regular meeting Thursday, January 4th. Here at Carbondale Town Hall. Would you please take roll call?
Sure. Eric Seacrest is absent. Eric Dowd,
Here,
Nick Michon,
Here?
Heather McDonald,
Here.
Jess Pedersen is absent. John Williams is absent. Kim McGee,
Here.
Mark Mahoney.
Here. Great. Okay, item number 2, approval of the Historic Preservation December 7th meeting minutes. Any questions, comments, concerns regarding the meeting minutes? Okay, going once, going twice. Would someone like to make a motion to approve the minutes?
Move to approve the minutes.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Okay, it's unanimous. Minutes are approved. Moving on to item number 3, items from citizens present. Not on the agenda. It appears no one is present. Moving on to item number 4, action items 4.1, CLG grant application.
So
Would you like, yeah.
sure, I can give a
talk us in?
quick update on this. So this is kind of the latest draft. Kay has largely been noodling on it since the last meeting. We did bring this up, the CLG grant to both the Board of Trustees and the Planning and Zoning Commission at their December meetings, requesting a letter of support. The Board of Trustees approved the letter of support. The Planning and Zoning Commission wanted a little bit additional information on the grant application. And so they are going to review it next Thursday. And we'll see if they want to provide a letter of support as well. Other than that, I think this is kind of the last draft. I've been looking through it, and I don't really have any other changes. And so, we're really looking to you guys. This is kind of our last opportunity to get feedback, make any changes if you feel they're necessary. And then we anticipate being able to submit next Friday, the 12th. That will give us a little bit of buffer on the final submission date is the 16th. So the Tuesday after MLK President's
So you
Labor.
want the cost estimates in by Wednesday?
As soon as possible.
Okay.
The sooner we can get them, we can provide any feedback if we need additional information, then hopefully can include in the proposal or the grant. Yes,
And also the citizens.
yes, anything you guys
Petition.
have.
Yeah.
I would say again by Wednesday of next week, drop dead would be wonderful. If we don't get anything, it's not the end of the world. But if we do have any citizens who'd like to sign a letter of support, that'd be wonderful. Is there anything I'm missing on that, Kay?
That's pretty much it.
Commissioner comments? I read through it. I think it looks
Yeah.
great. Thank you so much, staff, for
Yeah.
Kay, for doing all that heavy lifting. I think it's a terrific application. I have my fingers crossed that we'll get it. I'm prepared to sign it
Okay.
whenever you want. I could sign it right now if you want. But I guess we need to wait for TMZ.
No, I think you can at least sign the application. If you want to pass that down, we can always, I'd rather have your signature and get a email okay from you than have to drive up the Crystal to get the signature
Yeah, no.
or paddle up the Crystal, whichever.
That would be hard. 2024.
You know it.
Then Kim had a short hand.
Yeah, Kim.
Hey, Kay, I thought it was amazing. I mean, it really looked great.
Thank you.
I know this was just a draft, but page 6 and page 10 are cut off at the bottom. So you probably know that already. But I
Um,
just wanted you to know.
Yeah, so that's a function of their PDF document.
Okay.
And it can scroll down when you're in the live document,
Ah,
but to
Okay.
print it for it to be in a nested in another document, it gets cut off. If you want to see the verbiage, I'm happy to send out just a Word document.
No need. No
but-
need. I figured you knew that was for whatever reason that it was doing that. But
Yeah,
it was great. I thought it was so beautifully written.
It really is.
well, thanks.
A good writer.
I try.
And we just need History Colorado to give us some money.
Yeah.
Oh, I did have one thing. So since we are still waiting on both cost estimates. If those cost estimates exceed the 25,000 maximum, we need, the HPC's go ahead to include a matching fund up to a certain dollar amount in order to make the cost estimates work. I mean, that's a decision you need to make. We can do a hard stop at 25,000. I think we do have the 30,000 that was going to be, sort of set aside for either the log cabin survey or this survey if we don't get the grant. So there is that money to work with a little bit. So if the commission is willing to give like a pre-approval up to us, not to exceed, that would help us if we have to scramble after seeing the cost estimates.
Do we need, would it be simple enough to just give you a response to that particular topic now? It seems to, like pre-approval not to exceed the maximum allowable that the grant would, be applicable for, I think would be appropriate. And then if we need more money beyond that, we could discuss that at a later date. But if this is a deadline type of scenario.
Yeah, so this is a deadline. So just for example, if the cost estimate came in at $32,000, we can only ask the CLG for 25.
Right.
So we would need a $7,000 match in order to satisfy the cost estimate. And so, we need your authorization to earmark that expenditure from your budget.
Do we have it in the coffers?
We do, so
If, say it was $37,000.
yeah, so I think the budget, and don't quote me on the exact amounts, but I think the budget was approved with I think it was 30,000 for the Historic Preservation Commission
Oh,
to
great.
pursue this project, even if we're unsuccessful with getting a grant. And so in theory, you guys do have the budget to say we could allocate up to $30,000 additional funds, although I would be hard pressed to say that we'd want to move forward with the project if it was a $55,000
Seems like. a lot.
study. But you could just say, hey, if it's, up to 35,000, you'd be willing to allow staff to approve that, or, yeah, we did get one, and it came in literally minutes before this meeting started. We did get one proposal, and it is just under the $25,000.
Well, that's good.
So,
Okay.
so yeah,
Well-
I think it's your guys' call. If you want to say, hey, we'd be willing without any other action to approve something up to $30,000. If it's above that, then you guys would like to vote on that or take action on it.
Can we vote on it tonight? Or do we have, when we have a quorum, we could vote on it
Mhm.
tonight.
Yeah,
Do we want to set a number, an hour, like a set not to exceed number? I mean, it sounds like we've got a proposal that's under $25,000 right now. We could cap it at $25,000 and be
Mhm.
good with one proposal. We're good to go. We have a proposal that's on budget. We may not even need to do that.
correct.
So let's not.
Okay,
We've got a proposal that's on
Okay.
budget. Let's just stick with it.
okay, that's fine.
That's my 2 cents.
And this literally just came in, so I don't think Kay's seen it yet, and that's why I just wanted to share that information.
Sure.
Yeah, we may not want to take,
We're submitting 38,000 right now.
We just reached out to specific
We have other projects we want.
people who have
Right.
worked in this realm in the past and requested
Submitting.
proposals based on
on this.
a loose bid.
Okay.
we may not want to accept the absolute lowest bid either.
We don't have a preferred vendor necessarily,
What's wrong?
but I think we would be open to considering either of the two entities that have expressed interest to date.
Okay.
And we'd definitely bring that back to you guys and allow this commission to make that final decision.
Okay.
So if somebody
Okay.
came in at 38,000, we would have the opportunity to match that at a later date.
I had to recuse myself.
We-
This is
I think that so we've got a couple conversations going
Yeah,
around,
yeah.
so.
You should bring this forward to the group.
So to answer Mark's question, the cost estimate that we're supplying, the CLG, we're trying to be as upfront as possible. I suppose, it would be, we have to have a contract signed before we can issue an RFP for the actual work. So I don't know that we could authorize that. I just don't know the legal ramifications of not being clear on the grant application for our estimated costs, even if if it's an unanticipated extra expense. So that's why, I would like to have, some sort of matching in case, because we do have a couple of outstanding requests for cost estimates, and we don't know what those are yet.
I can give you one right now on our rough budget right now with Ron Sladek.
That's probably not
Yeah.
a good way to do this in a public meeting. If you are part of that team, you will need to.
That's why I was like, I can't really. say
Right.
Yeah.
anything.
So, I think what we're showing is, hey, we've got a project. We have a proposal that demonstrates that we could meet that $25,000 grant application. If we have a proposal that exceeds that we want to move forward with, we would likely need to check in with History Colorado and make sure that they are comfortable with us.
Mhm.
And that would be local match because the grant is capped at $25,000. And so we would have to demonstrate kind of a reason why we feel it's important to go to $30,000 to complete this project, to have local match that exceeds that amount. But I do think that showing an initial proposal that says we can do it within the 25,000 is likely sufficient for the grant. I think what we'll find is, as we develop a formal RFP, we might realize that, hey, we want 6 meetings and they only identified 2 meetings and those carry real costs. And so some of these might go up a little bit more, but that's something defensible that we can present to History Colorado and make sure that they sign off on it.
As a, so town of Carbondale is comfortable with the disclosure after the fact. If we need more money, we could disclose to what you're saying, if I'm hearing you correctly, is we can go to them later and say, hey, we're going with this consultant. They're $30,000. We need an additional $5,000 to cover the expenses. We will cover that internally. But we
Correct.
can disclose that later.
Correct. We will provide the matching to get to that point. If we came in with initial bids that said these are $40,000 projects, and we said, well, we need a grant for $25,000, but we'll figure out the rest.
Right.
I think that's a different story. We can demonstrate with our approved budget that we have funds available to provide an overmatch if an overmatch is needed. But that would have to be a decision made by, the historic preservation, but those funds are available. And I think that would be enough to demonstrate to History Colorado that we have the financial capacity to complete this project. That's really what their biggest concern is. If we give you the money, is it going to come in at $30,000? We're only giving you 25, and then you can't complete the project.
Right.
And if we can demonstrate that, no, we can complete it because we have these funds available, that should help ease their concerns.
That to me sounds like the most streamlined approach.
Okay.
But do we need to vote on that? Okay, let's just move forward with it. Let's get this thing submitted. Great. Thanks, Kay. It's great.
4.2, 2024 goals and objectives.
You want to talk us into this one?
I think we're really looking to you guys on if there's other goals and objectives for this calendar year that you all would like to achieve, so that it can help staff kind of prepare our time to assist you in helping to achieve those. I think in years past, it's really been focusing on the plaque program, helping spread the word. Obviously, last year and this year, historic design guidelines are a big part of that work program. And so hopefully, this year with the funding that we have available, that might be a more realistic process to undertake, regardless of the grant funding or not. So I think it was really just kind of putting it out to you all, see if there was anything else that was a high priority for this group, so that we can, have that check-in. And then I believe, Kay, we send these check-ins, these goals to the Board of Trustees, just so they're kind of aware of what your goals for the year are. And we can help you draft that. We just need to know if there's other things.
Personally, I would love to see the log cabin survey rise to, or at least get on the list. It's the only thing I would add. I think that's still kind
So
of,
we were finalized with 30,000, you said, for the budget, or was that just for something else?
Correct, for the
So
budget.
that includes like anything that's plaque program?
I think it might be 36. I think we
Okay.
had some of the traditional operating expenses that you guys have for the plaque program, and then we kind of earmarked an additional 30 or 32 for one of these two studies in case we didn't get funding.
Okay.
I mean, the outreach is always like an ongoing topic. You know, we won't be, I don't know that we will be successful with any of our goals if we don't continue with outreach. Let people know that we exist and
Well, I did see somebody like a few days ago actually looking at, was it 187 on 8th Street? Looking at the plaque and reading it, this two people.
nice. That's great. Black is big push in that direction, so that's really helpful. You know, articles in the Sopra Sun, reaching out to folks for those types of, that type of thing, I think is really successful. KCPR. I don't know that there's any real money exchanged in those endeavors. It's just relationships.
Mhm.
Um,
But if there are items that are needed to assist with that outreach, we do have some budget available. So if it's, you know, some sort of, you know, print ups for, you know, helping spread the word or, you know, other sort of documentation or, you know, I'm trying to think off the top of my head, but if there are things needed to help assist with spreading the word, we have budget available to assist with making that a reality. So it's not having to be out of your guys' pockets to achieve that.
So marketing budget.
Sure, if, you know, I think if this group as a whole says, yeah, it's worth us spending, you know, a couple $1,000s to do some marketing outreach or say a mailer to all people in the OTR about design guidelines or something like that, you know, this budget can accommodate some of those items.
Okay.
Kind of educate.
Mhm.
Mhm. Okay. Any other comments? Commissioner comments on 4.2, goals and objectives for 2024? Eric, Kim? Did we cover it?
Yeah, I'm good. Good with the current direction.
Okay. Mark? Anything to
I'm
add?
good. Nope.
Okay. Okay.
I guess the one thing, I mean, Heather mentioned it a while back, like First Friday's presence,
Mhm.
kind of having a table or a booth or something like that. Seems like a pretty good informal way of
I
getting the
mean,
word out.
you guys got a lot of people to talk to, Matt Carbondale and then Nick and Yancey doing the Chaco's Park, and a lot of people are coming through, so.
Yeah, I think farmers markets and First Fridays have proven to be pretty solid touch points for various initiatives. Yeah, no, Kim helped out a lot with some of the Map Carbondale outreach and you know, I think it's with a lot of those, it's having your fellow community members kind of at that booth that makes you a little more approachable than just having staff there. So, you know, I think that's something that we would want to, you know, make sure if that's something you guys would like to do is get a booth out there and, you know, have some touch points on some sort of outreach. You know, I think that's something that we'd be happy to help you guys coordinate.
Okay.
I mean, that'd
Yeah,
be
when it
good to
gets a little-
start in the spring or
Yeah,
something
when it
like
gets a
that.
little warmer
You don't want to do a
now.
Winter.
an early January.
Tomorrow?
The headlamps and, yeah.
Okay, great. Item number 5, staff report.
We really don't have much. I don't think we've informed you guys, but I'm sure you've read about it in the paper or our neighboring papers or checked our website. But the reason the door is closed or the wall is closed here is that the back half of this room will become a temporary emergency shelter for some of our newcomers to the community. I don't know the exact amount. I think the goal might be somewhere around 20 individuals. But it will be a night shelter, and so we've kind of cordoned that area off and are working on having this as our meeting space. So want to let you guys know about that.
They made the Washington Post a story like around Christmas.
Yeah,
Eve
and
or
the New
Christmas-
York Post.
Oh, New York Post too?
Mm-hmm.
So just to let them know, the March meeting is where the police are.
Correct.
So I don't-
So we do have in March, we will have this room being used for a police department training that evening. And so we will either need to cancel that meeting or hold it virtually. We'll make sure that we get some correspondence out with you all as the time gets a little bit closer, but just want to let you guys know about that. That we won't be able to use this room,
So if
unfortunately.
we don't get the CGL or CLG one, isn't the next one in April? So we probably still need to have the meeting to talk about the drafts and everything.
Correct. So the other opportunity would be in April, or I believe it closes
March.
at the end of April.
Yeah.
Or end
We
April,
would
okay.
still have the April meeting.
So we still would have
Okay.
the first meeting in April, but having a virtual meeting could be beneficial. I think we can kind of do a wait and see approach and get a little bit closer to that date, but we just want to alert you early on that might be a different format. And certainly it's something that if some people want to still attend in person, we can always book our small conference room. It's just hard to get a lot of people and all of our public who show up to our meetings to get in the small conference room. So we still can have kind of a hybrid approach.
111 Main.
We will have 111 Main upcoming. So that is an annexation. The Board of Trustees are reviewing a petition to annex Tuesday. So we will notice that application. Part of their application is to rezone the property to HCC, which would then necessitate a historic preservation review. I know you guys have expressed interest in kind of being early on in the process to help potentially influence designs and the built form just in case there's an opportunity. And so that's something that we've currently identified as your guys' next meeting, the February meeting, as a potential date to have that. We're working with the applicant. They're currently revising some of their plans. And so if we can get to that, we'd love to. If not, that might be a March meeting requirement. So that would be the only other thing. And did the other thing I see on that list, was that upcoming
Oh, it's just,
vacancies?
yeah.
So I believe we have Eric Dowd, Nick, and Eric Seacrest. Your guys' terms are expiring this year.
Yeah, soon, like this month.
So if you guys are interested in continuing to serve, let us know and we can work with you guys in getting your applications resubmitted.
I will be stepping down.
Okay,
I've got 8 years. I've been doing this since 2016.
okay.
We've got good leadership. We've got good people. We've got good goals. We're in good shape. I've got stuff in my life, good things that are taking me away from this. So I will be stepping down at the end of my
Okay.
tenure.
No, I appreciate you letting us know.
Yeah.
We can at least make sure that
Need a new
we-
chair.
we get that out and
Me too.
we'll make sure that we get a new chair.
No, I think you've got
Appointed.
several very outstanding candidates. So you're in
Agreed.
good shape.
Yeah, I think that's really it for staff updates. I don't know if you guys have anything for us or questions of us or looking at you, Kim.
I don't have anything to say. Thank you for your service.
Oh, well, I can't look at Eric because Eric's dark, so we're
Oh, okay.
looking at you up on the screen.
Well, here I am, but I don't have anything to say.
Awesome. That's all we have.
Okay, motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, thank you all very much.